I'm Joe Compton, and this is A Touch of Indie as I review the brand new indie horror film out now in theaters from Neon Pictures entitled Shelby Oaks. And the first thing I'll say about this film is bravo to Neon Pictures for really bringing to light a brand new voices in horror aspect. It's really refreshing to have that, and I'm really excited for the future of Neon Pictures, along with, of course, A24 doing some incredible and innovative stuff. That being said, this film has an interesting juxtaposition to begin with, as it starts off as a found footage mockumentary film for about 20, 30 minutes of the beginning, and then it switches over into the narrative portion, which is just a standard laissez faire narrative horror film from a third person perspective that's really kind of waning into the first person perspective. The really interesting thing about this film is that with the two juxtapositions, there is different feels and different looks, and both of them are captured impeccably. The look of this film is absolutely stellar, and it's going to set the standard for horror films going forward, I believe, because I think the lighting, the aspect ratios, the framing, all of the technical stuff that nobody really sees that's become seamless within the projection of the narrative and the storytelling is really, really, really strong here. It is absolutely done with just the finest of touches, the greatest of details. I mean, from down to the jump scares to the influences of other horror films that Chris pays homage to the ideas of what we're trying to see, what we don't want to see. All of those things are impeccably done here. The visual effects in this film also are masterful. There's an incredible opportunity where you see a window that cracks, and it's amazing. And then there's also another aspect where there's a triggering point for the characters. They get into a moment when they start to feel very, very cold, and the breath and all of that is done just marvelously. It is so amazing. Along with that, I have to give kudos to Camille Sullivan for carrying this film from basically frame one all the way to the end. She's not in every single frame of this movie, but her anchoring it is super vital to what the storytelling ultimately becomes and what it's about. And she's from the narrative perspective, once it switches over from the mockumentary aspect or the found footage aspect, she becomes pretty much paramount in every scene from that point forward. And for that, she has an incredible way of really defining her emotions and bringing out the dread or the fear or the loss, all of these emotional things that she has to go through. This character goes through an incredible emotional roller coaster, and Camille handles it perfectly. I mean, she's really, really good in this. Along with that, I'll give a kudos out to Robin Bartlett, who plays this creepy ass character toward the third act that becomes paramount to the storytelling. Robin, you might recognize from one of my favorite films of last year, which was The Last Stop in Yuma County, an incredible film, and she was impeccable in that as well. I really find that this movie kind of loses its way about midway through. It wants to be something it's forcing almost a little bit. It feels forced, and the third act really becomes messy and just has this incredibly just convoluted idea of trying to bring this all together, almost like it was rushed to kind of push it all together, which is not uncommon for a first time filmmaker. A lot of first time filmmakers have that aspect to them. So it's not an uncommon thing to see from a first time filmmaker. And it's not uncommon to see from a horror movie that really tests your patience, right? And this movie will test your patience. It has moments where it is trying to lure you in and keep you there. And in doing so, that becomes a time issue with timing of how to get all this out and how to get all of it together. And I think that's where this movie really just kind of gets messy and cluttered. And so for the third act, I was really just kind of like, oh, it was tough. It was tough to watch. Again, beautifully shot, great visuals. There's an incredible moment with a levitation aspect that I really enjoyed, and the end shot, the very last shot, is very good, and it's a very cool ending. It's just, I think that there could have been a lot more vagueness to this. There could have been a lot more mystery, and I think that would have helped kind of, we didn't need to know everything, and I feel like this movie tries to give you everything, tries to reveal every single detail of this idea, right? And I think that's really tough when you're trying to shove it into the last 30 minutes of a movie. Yeah, you could easily chalk it up as a first time film director doing first time film director things, but I also believe that's not fair to Chris, because I think he really had a great idea, and he has the making of something that would have been really, really just wow, impressive, and something to talk about. It just didn't come across that way, and that's a shame because, like I said, this is really impeccably shot. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. I think you should definitely check it out and let me know when you do. And when you do, put in the comments what you think, and try to non-spoiler, but you know, along the lines of what we just talked about. And remember, that's always time to go indie now. And we'll see you again for another touch of indie very soon. Bye, everybody.